Okay, here's my review for Resident Evil Apocalypse. Uh, if you haven't seen my review of Resident Evil, the first film, you should probably check that out. If not, quick recap. Most people seem to at least find it okay. Even a lot of the critics of the franchise find that the first film was okay because it truly was an action horror film. In that it had action elements, but it also had real horror elements. Resident Evil Apocalypse is called an action horror film, but it's not. It's an action film, and I think that's one of the things where a lot of people started getting uh, that's water there. Started really getting turned off or not liking the franchise. Uh, I think the other thing was the director. Paul W.S. Anderson decided not to do Resident Evil Apocalypse. He was originally going to do it. He did write it and he did produce it, but he decided not to do it because he was going to go. He went and did Aliens vs Predator, which that's a whole nother cookie to crack. Don't ask where that pun came from, or saying whatever. Alexander Witt then decided to take over. Alexander Witt's a German director, and he's normally just does second unit work. In fact, Resident Evil Apocalypse is still his only film. It's not like he hasn't done anything since it in the movie business. He's still a second unit director. He's attached to do X-Men First Class. He was a director of photography, second unit on Robin Hood. That's not a good example for me. He did second unit director on Daredevil, Triple X. So he's done a lot of these action scenes, and I'm guessing that's what he mostly does. And it shows. The action's kind of okay. I mean, I do watch this film just for the pointless action, but you really have a problem. There's no emotion to the action. It's just kind of done. The whole movie does feel like it's really was directed by a second unit director, a guy who can technically pull off all the shots needed, but he isn't able to build up that emotional core, which I think is the big fault of this movie. And even with the plot, there is of course a ton of plot holes. Too many for me to go into in this little video. Of course, the big one is, how the hell did they build a giant wall around a city infected with zombies in like one day? Of course, the other big thing, and I think this is kind of where it really starts departing from the video games, is the Umbrella Corporation. The Umbrella Corporation is brought out, I think, is the most stereotypical evil corporation in film. From the movie franchise. It's just completely out there, completely uber powerful, like it really is controlling everything. Which in the video game franchise, the corporation does bad things and is obviously evil, but it still is not super powerful like it is in this one. I mean, in the original, they're not able to cover up the stuff they did, and they get shut down in the video game franchise. I mean, they did do a few extreme things, but still, even the Japanese producers of the franchise felt, no, the corporate, this is getting a little ridiculous. They'll just be shut down, which was a good move on their part, because then you start getting to the ridiculousness levels that we have in Resident Evil Apocalypse, where they had their own little stormtroopers, of course dressed in black. Actually, I will say this: for troops equipped to fight zombies, other than their weapons, which were these puny little I do forget what they were called, but they're very light caliber little guns that they had. Their kit though looked very good for fighting zombies. It looked like it'd be hard to bite through, and their little helmets seemed like they would protect them from spray and stuff. So I'll give them credit for that. It does look like that's the type of suit or outfit you would wear to fight a zombie. Little lack in armor on the legs, but still, at least that's, I guess, mobility. Of course, this is also in the franchise. It started bringing in people from other actual characters from the game, because now it was directly coming into the game's universe, or the same plot points in the game. Obviously, the first one was trying to be what happened before the game, because it came out before Resident Evil 0, so we didn't know what happened really before the first Resident Evil game. But Resident Evil Apocalypse, it didn't do the characters that well. We had Jill, who Well, just kind of, of course, people. You can't complain too much about the Jill outfit because she was basically wearing the same outfit in the video games, but still, again, we didn't have that emotional connection with Jill. She didn't seem, I don't know. There was just something off with these characters. I must admit, I got a few chuckles out of Mike Epps jokes. Uh, Especially the GTA reference. Hits the cop in GTA, motherfucker, 10 points. I got a little chuckle out of that, especially the first time I saw it. Of course, in the second one, I couldn't wait for him to get killed. Carlos was competently pulled off. Actually, Carlos is my favorite character from this movie, which made me unhappy that he died in the third one. Spoiler alert, post mortem. And of course, the ridiculous factor, I think, also with the action, where Alice, who was just a security operative before, sure, very competent, she, kicked the frickin' zombie dog through plate glass something in the first one. Here, she's gone completely, like, I would say, like her character in Fifth Element, but she goes even more extreme. I mean, she just kind of somehow this breaks the laws of physics and makes a motorcycle jump through a stained glass window. I don't know why she was deciding to do that. I mean, that's there's another plot hole. They're trapped in a church with a bunch of lickers, and out of nowhere she just kind of jumps through this plate glass window. We don't know if she knows there's lickers in there, and even if she did, why she would decide to jump in there, I don't know. But she jumps in there, and it's revealed that they did more experiments that made her more powerful, which leaves you to wonder why they didn't, when they were coming in to retrieve all the scientists and everybody, why they didn't decide to grab her if she's so important. But of course they decide, test her and the other project, the Nemesis. Which, I have to say, makeup-wise, the Nemesis does look like the Nemesis from the games. Whoever they did have on the makeup for the Nemesis or the special effect that is the Nemesis suit, I will give them some credit. It looked good. It looked a lot like what we expected from the film. Still, the emotional connection. We were supposed to have this conflict, like, oh my, it's Matt from the first movie. He was turned into this creature. No, we didn't have that. The movie is really completely devoid of emotions, and not even that type of emotion, but even like excitement emotions. Even the action, we don't get so excited about. It is a very cheesy movie. That is why I do watch it. It's very cheesy, but it could have been better. I think they really, if they had another director, it would have done way better. And of course, so at the end, we also get the super powered Alice as she awakens and can kill people with her mind and then never uses that power ever again. But that then leads into Resident Evil Extinction, which I think for a lot of people put the icing on the cake. Signing off for now, check out the Extinction review.